You've been heads down optimizing your own content, closing your gaps, building your presence. Solid work. But while you were doing all that, your competitors weren't sitting still either. It's time to see exactly who's beating you on which topics and by how much. Alicia, our AEO team lead, is heading into a competitive strategy review. First things first, she sets the right filter context for what she needs. She switches to unbranded prompts to analyze the true competitive field, general category queries where brands are competing purely on content authority. With the right filter in place, the KPI cards give her a headline read, her share of voice for brand mentions and citations versus the total market with period over period movement. She toggles to track competitors for a focused head-to-head view against brands she's watching most closely. The top mentioned brands table adds a useful layer. It's not just who has more mentions, but also what is their sentiment score. A competitor sitting at the top of the list with a low sentiment score? Visibility advantage, perception problem. That's a positioning opportunity she can use. The competitive landscape by top topics shows which brands are winning each specific topic, ranked by how frequently they're mentioned. Some topics, she's in the top spot. Others, a competitor is consistently first and she's lower in the rankings. The info box shows their mention count and how it's trending. Clicking their logo opens a filtered view of every prompt where that competitor is mentioned for this topic and whether her brand shows up in those same prompts. The ones with a green check mark next to her brand, she's holding her own. The red X marks, that's her hit list. She picks a high-value prompt where her competitor is winning and she's not, and goes straight into Writing Assistant. Straight from the competitive insight to the content action. And here's a move worth making before calling this analysis done. She applies a persona filter. The competitive landscape can look very different depending on which audience you're analyzing. A competitor that lags overall might actually dominate for a specific persona she cares about. Same view, different audience, and the competitive picture shifts. This is how you find the specific audience segments where you have a relative gap, even against a weaker competitor overall. One more lens worth using, and it's a completely different question. She switches to branded prompts and looks at the entire market view for citations. Now she's not only looking at direct competitors, she's seeing which third-party publishers and review sites are most cited alongside her brand in branded queries, the sites that AI already trusts to discuss her category. These are warm targets for her PR and partnerships team. The competitive landscape tab turns competitive strategy from instinct into data. You know who's winning, on which topics, for which audiences, all in one view.